Hey, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in and being here with us. Today I'm really pleased and grateful to be a part of the Medicine Wheel teachings here. And we'll get started right away with our knowledge keeper today, Cindy O'Nabignon, and she's from the Northern Health Region, and we're just so grateful that she can be here for us today and provide some prayers and teachings that we can all listen to and benefit from. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Cynthia, so to introduce herself, and then she'll be giving a land acknowledgement. Welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you, Brooke. Hello, everyone, and welcome. As Brooke shared, my name is Cindy, or Cynthia O'Navigan is my given name. Abita Gisiga Pisam Dishnikas, Wapisam Makwado Dem is my spirit name. I am from the north. I come from the north. I was born and raised here. I live and work here in the hospital in Flin Flon. I'm the elder knowledge keeper. I prefer knowledge keeper. I just want to share, or been asked to share, about the medicine wheel teachings. So I will start with a land acknowledgement and a prayer. So the Northern Health Region acknowledges that we are situated on Treaty 5, 6, and 10 territory, and that Manitoba is located on the traditional and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, Denezulin, Nehithawak, and Ninawak, Nehiawak nations. We acknowledge that Manitoba is situated on the homeland of the Red River Métis. We respect waters, land, histories, language, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit, whose presence enriches Canadian society. We respect and acknowledge that we are all connected through the spirit and intent of treaties and treaty making, and remain committed to working in collaboration and partnerships that will encompass equity, justice, truth, and reconciliation. And the term Indigenous means First Nations, Métis, Inuit inclusively, and we acknowledge the unique status of Indigenous peoples in Canada and Manitoba. So that's our land acknowledgement, and I want to share a prayer, but I'm going to turn my camera off for the prayer and for the medicine wheel teachings themselves, but I will be sharing there. Is that good, Brooke? You can still see my slides? I can't hear you.
Looks good, sorry.
Okay. Sorry, I've got my land acknowledgement there. Okay. Bonjour, Moshum, Kukum, Pishimanatu, Gananaskuman. We thank you today for this beautiful day and for gathering the cancer care and Northern Health Region together in collaboration for these medicine wheel teachings today. We are grateful for the beautiful sun and for our lives here today on Mother Earth. We give thanks to Creator for the earth, the air, the water, the sun, the moon, the stars, as we are all connected. And I ask for healing for those who are affected or who are ill with cancer. We pray for them and we pray for their families for healing and good energy. So now I'm going to go into the medicine wheel teachings. So medicine wheel teachings, a lot of people probably heard of medicine wheel teachings, so wondering, well, what are they? So I'm going to share a little bit today of what I've been shown or what I've been taught through my elders and through my teachings and walking a traditional lifestyle. So my teaching is that we all have a medicine wheel. Mine is not the same as yours, and yours is not the same as mine. What I choose to put inside it is what makes up my will. The teachings are similar across Turtle Island, but unique to each area or tribe. How we balance our will is what's important. And we ask ourselves, who am I, or who I want to be here? What is my purpose? Where do I come from? And where did you learn from? So those are the things we would put into our medicine wheel. So start here. So on our medicine wheel, we have the 4 directions. And we always start in the eastern direction. We follow the sun, so we're going east, southwest, north, around in a clockwise direction. So we follow the sun and we go clockwise in a circle in ceremony and on our path, continually moving forward. Our path in life is what we choose. I choose to walk this way and with the medicine wheel teachings. We all have a medicine wheel. Again, each is different and unique to our spirit and our teachings. So our path or our direction we follow by paying attention to Mother Earth, to the stars, the plants, the animals, Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun, the water, the climate. We are all connected. How we take care of Mother Earth and each other is connected. If the earth is sick, then we are sick. So we need to heal. We shall heal Mother Earth. So here we have, again, the directions. So starting in the east and we're going around to the south, the west, and the north. And on the medicine wheel, these colors could be different. Some people use blue instead of black to represent. And we have our directions here, east, south, west, and north. Next, we have our 4 races of people on Turtle Island. So our teaching is, or my teaching is, the red people come from the north. Like I said, this is a representation of all 4 races. So on my wheel, the red would be in the north. So we have the red nation, the black, the white, and the yellow nations. And we all work together here on Mother Earth for our well-being and for peace and healing. So we have different, under the Red Nation, there's many different tribes with different beliefs or value systems. And it's the same for all nations, I believe, that they would have different teachings, but similar is the best way I can explain it. So one of my first teachings is, if we look at ourselves and if I cut my hand, I'm going to bleed red, and the same with the other nations. We're all the same inside. Next, oops, sorry. Now on the medicine wheel, we have 4 sacred medicines that we work with. Our number 1 medicine here is tobacco. Why we say it's the number 1 medicine? Because tobacco speaks for us. And when we're going out to pick other medicines, the sage, the sweetgrass, or the cedar, we offer Mother Earth and Gishimanatu that tobacco, to ask that permission for that medicine to take that medicine, and for that medicine to work for us for healing in a good way, especially when we're dealing with sicknesses. We're very intentional, and we're very, it's like how I'm talking here. This is how I would speak to the medicines, offer tobacco to the earth and ask, can I use this medicine to help with cancer or with diabetes or whatever sickness it might be. And every plant, every tree out there is medicine. And it's very healing when you're even just out in the land, when you're out on the land, or if you're out there, maybe in the garden. It's very healing just to connect to Mother Earth and to the plants and to the flowers and the medicines. So these other three medicines, sweetgrass, sage, and cedar, they could sit different for different tribes again. Cedar might be in the west, or sage might be in the south. Um, but these other three medicines we all use for they're all used for smudging, cleansing, and purifying, especially cedar. Cedar is a purification medicine. We make cedar tea sometimes if we're not using it in ceremonies such as sweat lodge or sundance, is where you'll see and smell a lot of cedar. It's used for smudging and cleansing. The sweetgrass. The sweetgrass for smudging. They say or the teaching is that when it's braided, we're praying, and it's body, mind, and spirit we're putting into that braid. We're having prayers. Again, everything we practice. It's intentional, with good energy, with a good heart and mind, to ask for healing and for what we need it for. The sage. There's different kinds of sage. We have prairie sage or buffalo sage. There's white sage. But same thing, it's all used for the cleansing and smudging and purifying our aura or our energy, and asking and giving thanks for our life today. The four aspects is something that it's very where I'm working here today, and when we're dealing with healing, when we're dealing with illness or sickness, the four aspects is the part that we talk about that we want to balance in our life, and working towards balance mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. It's very hard. It's very especially when there is sickness. So working towards these four aspects and that healing. So mentally, we want to have good thoughts, to have a clear mind, to be positive as possible. Especially when we're sick. Thoughts and words can hurt, so we want to be positive. Choosing, not to let negative take over. To meditate, to have mind over matter especially when it comes to sicknesses. To be mindful and to pay attention to surroundings, what's happening, how am I feeling, let go of what's not serving or not helping you. And something that I wanted to share, also understanding that this medicine wheel we talk about, and it'll talk about it a little more in the next couple slides, is our journey, our path, or that life cycle, and understanding that death is part of life and everything is for a reason. And mentally, to fight the sickness with prayer. Physically, to taking care of yourself, eating right, exercise, walking, being outside with nature helps the body, mind, and spirit. Being free from drugs and alcohol, meditation or yoga can help. Good rest is very important for the body and mind. And again, when we're ill, you do what you can, what you can at the time, and make the most out of your time. I mean, life is precious, time is precious. So to be mindful and have quality time. The emotional, crying and laughing are medicine. We need to let out the feelings to heal and move forward. Holding on to emotions builds up in our body, making us sick. So we might get a headache or a stomach ache or pain, in our back because we're not letting go of things that have hurt us or um, emotions that hurt us. So talking, getting it out there in the universe, let it go. Give it to Creator. Tell Creator your prayer for yourself and for your family. And don't take things for granted. Don't stay angry. Forgive, love, and help heal your sickness. The spiritual. The spiritual, right now, what I'm sharing, what I'm doing here, it's to me, it's spiritual in the sense that I'm sharing these teachings so that um, those who watch the video have that little bit of understanding or have a little bit of teaching about ways that they can help themselves to heal, especially through their sickness, and to know you're not alone. That the spirit, creator, your ancestors, your grandmothers and grandfathers are with you. So spiritual is prayer, ceremony, smudging. For some, it's going to church. Belief and faith in a higher power or creator. Our ancestors before us wrote trails so that we can be here today. So we give thanks and gratitude for our life today and what I have in life, and to work towards understanding and healing. Um, our next slide is the 4 elements. Very important to understand and work with our elements. Today, where we are in the north here, we had a fire close to home, and I think it was very eye-opening to a lot of people, and it just shows, how much the earth, how much the world is changing, and how much more we need to take care of the earth and each other and ourselves. So the 4 elements are earth, air, water, and fire. And water is life. We drink water, we bathe with the water, we make medicine with water. We need the water. So it's very important to take care of. Mother Earth, sometimes referred to as Turtle Island, it gives us what we need. Our plants, medicines. Every day when I come to work, I put out tobacco and give thanks to Mother Earth for allowing us to walk on her, to drive our vehicles on her, for the love that a mother has. They nurture, they love, they protect, and that's what Mother Earth gives us. And definitely the medicines. Air, of course, we all need air to breathe. The trees give us that oxygen that we need. So it's very important to be mindful, like when the fire happened, how much trees we lose, how much of the earth is damaged. So we're constantly praying for healing. For air, I think of wind and energy and just movement, we cannot see it, but we know it's there and we need it, and we need to be grateful for that. And same with the fire. The sun is our greatest source of energy. It brings us heat and light and warmth. And we call the sun grandfather sun. We call the moon grandmother moon. These are our teachers, our connection to our teachings and our way of life. So here we have the 4 stages of life. And I added this little picture on the bottom because I thought it's again important to acknowledge, this woman here who gives life, and this, Um, this represents the egg inside the mother's womb. So the four stages is birth. The mother gives birth to the child. So we have the first stage of birth to about 8, 9 years old. They're learning from the parents. They're learning how to walk, how to talk. They're very innocent at this age, learning right from wrong. So, parents and the grandparents are their first teachers. And our next stage is the youth. I just put the ages as a reference, but it could be different in different areas as well. So we have like a teenager, 13 up to about 20, 21. Here, we think teenagers, and there's lots of peer pressure. There's a lot of youth today that are still out there. They're lost, and we need to share our teachings so they can understand who they are. Help them with that identity part. This is where they might meet their first boyfriend or girlfriend, and um, this is where puberty is. And for young women, I put here moon time because it's a very sacred time, and they need to be taught at a young age, about that sexuality in a good way so that they can learn to respect themselves and to understand who they are, and who they want to be, about good relationships. And the next stage is adults, so about 21 and up. So here's where you have your boyfriend, girlfriend, there's love, there's those connections, emotions, and where you might get married and start a family. This is where all the life experiences come in, where you learn about jobs and life and responsibility, and just about living that good life here. This is where we want to learn about those, like where you would have a home and the job, and being stable and having balance here to live a good life. And the next stage is the elder stage. And here I put 60 plus, but again, it depends in your area where how they're viewed. For me, there's not really numbers. There's no age numbers, but I just put them as reference. But here, this is where you've been through many life experiences. And I think of stories, the stories that our elders could tell, that could share, the teachings that they share. With elders, a lot of sickness comes in here. And this is where, they start to get more frail, and they've come full circle. They've lived that full life from being born to child to youth to adults, and that's what we pray for, a good life, a full life. Oops. So those are just some of the teachings that you can put on there. You can put the seasons on here. And again, depending where you come from, south, north, east, west, it could be different, different colors. Like I said, some people use blue instead of black, but I use black to represent our four races that we have here on Mother Earth. And these are the teachings all together, what I have gathered together. So what does your wheel look like? Is it balanced? Who do you want to be, versus who you are now? What do I want to put on my medicine wheel? What do I want to pass on to my children? Especially when we're going through challenges, when we're going through sickness, we think about that. We think about our mortality and our life. What can I do, and to walk in a good way, to be kind, to greet your neighbor, to ask for healing. There's different places you can go, or I didn't add it on here, but with cancer care, I know they have the resources and they have the means, to help those who are sick with cancer. And I pray again for that healing for all cancer patients and for all those who are sick with cancer, for the families, that this time you are taking the time to be with family and loved ones and are healing. And I want to say thank you for listening. And I hope I didn't forget anything. Sometimes I forget. And I just want to share. I'll finish off with a song. It's a prayer song. It's a healing song. So I will share that here to end my presentation. And I thank you all for listening. Hey ya, hey ya, ha, oh, hey ya, hey ya, ha. Way hey ya, ha, way hey ya, ha. Way hey ya, ha, way hey ya, ha. Way hey ya, ha, hey ya, hey yo. Gitchimane to Ewe China, Ewe China, Gitchimane to Wea Hea, Wea Hea, Wea Hea, Hea, Way-ah, hey-ah, ho, way-ah, hey-ah, ho. Way-ah, hey-ah, ho, way-ah, hey-ah, ho. Way-ah, hey-ah, ho, way-ah, hey-ah, ho. Way hey ya hey ya hey yo. Ichi mane cho ewe china, ewe china, ichi mane cho. Way hey ya, way hey ya. Way hey 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 way hey oh way hey way hey way hey way hey way hey way hey hey Gitchi manichu ewe china ewe china Gitchi manichu way hey hey way hey hey way hey way hey way hey way Way, hey, hey. Thank you. I just wanted to share quickly on here as well. I work out of the Flin Flon Hospital, and any questions, anyone might have can connect to me through the hospital.
Thank you, Cynthia, Cindy. Thank you so much. That was really, really informative, and I'm very grateful that we had the pleasure of having you share your knowledge and your gifts. Um, your song is like medicine, really. That's what it feels like to me, at least. So I'm sure it felt like that to many other people here. And I'm sure that everyone would have been able to take away something from what you shared today because it was so comprehensive and really makes you reflect on who you are and who you want to be. And that's just a very compassionate way of taking care of ourselves when we're not well or when our loved ones aren't well. And I think you really spoke to that in a really meaningful and kind way. So I'm so grateful that we had the opportunity to have you with us today. Um, and as you were referring to, in our next segment, we will talk more about resources and putting maybe some of these areas of our life or um, treating them um, with some practical supports that cancer care offers. That'll be in our next segment. With that being said, thank you so much again, Cindy, and we'll move on to our next segment right away.
Thank you.
Okay, so great. Now we're going to move on to the next part of the webinar today with Miriam Duff, and she's going to be speaking to us about supports at Cancer Care and Regional Health. So now I'd like to extend a warm welcome to Miriam. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Brooke. It's great to be here and to be able to share some resources from a Western point of view. First, I want to acknowledge the land where I'm sitting, that I'm located in Treaty 1 territory on the land of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, as well as the homeland of the Métis Nation. And acknowledge the past and current harms resulting from colonization, that I'm dedicating myself to learning and growing and moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation, and not acknowledging that that there's been harms in the school systems. There's also been harms in the healthcare system, and I have worked in the healthcare system for most of my career. I come from Treaty 9 territory, which is now known as Northern Ontario. I had settler parents. I was a child life specialist at Children's Hospital for many years before moving over to cancer care beginning in 2009 and full-time in 2013, and now supporting children and families who come to cancer care for supports in my role as a counseling therapist and psychosocial oncology clinician. So I just want to sort of follow the pattern that has been laid out by Elder Cynthia. So beginning with the mental domain, counselors in psychosocial oncology service like myself are clinical social workers and counseling clinicians who provide supports to patients and families who are coming to cancer care for services. And it is, people are kind of assigned to different treatment teams depending upon the type of cancer that a person is dealing with. It provides a safe space to talk about feelings, to sort out thoughts, and to learn coping skills. So the other thing that we can help with is helping people who are patients and their families connect with resources that are available in the community and also online for more information. In the mental domain, there's also a psychiatrist who consults with cancer care and sees patients upon a referral from the cancer doctor, the oncologist, for people who need help in this way. Another really wonderful resource to know about is the Patient and Family Resource Center, which is available as a physical place at the 675 McDermott location in Winnipeg, but is also available to consult by phone and to mail out materials. And you can see in the slide here a picture of Kathleen Helgeson. She's the coordinator of the Patient and Family Resource Center. She has a wide range of helpful information and books and materials that people can consult with her about to find the ones that best fit them. She also hosts webinars and has information about the lending library, and that would be materials that she can mail out. So she's a good person to be in touch with. And I've included the link here, which is from the Cancer Care website, listed under Patient and Family Support Services, and the resource center is there. And you can also see her phone number. And the resource center is open 9 till 4, sometimes a little bit later on weekdays. Then the website itself that I just mentioned has some really helpful links with information, well worth taking a look at. Good to take a little tour. It includes videos in English that show treatment areas and explain radiation therapy. Those are recent films that were just made and put on the website this past year. There's also some information that's been translated into several languages about chemotherapy treatment. And you can view it in print, or you can listen to it in Cree, Inuktitut, Ojibwe, and Oji-Cree. So that's worth a look and a listen. For children, there's learning support for school-age children. So here you can see a picture of Tilly, who is the school teacher with Winnipeg School Division, who's attached to the team at Cancer Care Manitoba for children and adolescents who are seen at Cancer Care. This is the classroom in Children's Hospital, and she provides support to children from kindergarten up through high school. So a very good person to know about. And if the kids are in the hospital, this is a place where they can come and learn. And there's also teachers that come to the bedside if the child's well enough. And then when getting ready to go home, because sometimes kids have to spend quite a while in Winnipeg, sometimes quite a while in the hospital, Tilly is a good person to connect with the home school to help make a smooth transition. Then there's online programs. For example, the Brain Fog program is a program that is designed to help people who have had their thinking and memory affected by the treatment that they've had for cancer. Sometimes people talk about having foggy thinking or having difficulty remembering things or doing tasks like calculating mathematics. Or keeping track of the steps they have to follow in doing a task. And this brain fog program is available from wellspring.ca, which is a Canada-wide free online service that offers all kinds of programs for people who've been affected by cancer, including the patients themselves, and also for family members. It's a wonderful resource, well worth checking out. I think I was just on the site today and they have a registration that they have people do now as a way of starting to connect to get to know about all their services. In the spiritual domain, another really important part of our lives is sort of that looking after the spiritual care. And while we don't have a spiritual care specialist at Cancer Care, it is possible for us to help people connect. There are elders and faith-based spiritual care services for people not in the hospital, that can be arranged through a request made by the counselor or another healthcare provider at Cancer Care Manitoba to the Regional Health Authority, or by seeing what's available in local organizations. And that would be done in collaboration with the person who's seeking that support to see what we can find. There's also supportive counseling services that really take into consideration the whole person. So that means recognizing that spirituality is an important part of well-being, and meaning making, of course, is an important part of life. So there are groups that offer a way to approach meaning making. And then for people who are at the end of life, kind of in that final part of their path, there's a special program called Dignity Therapy, which is undertaken by a counselor individually with a person approaching transformation or end of life. And that results in the person, assisted by the counselor, creating a legacy document. So a little book that has messages and important learnings, pearls of wisdom that a person wants to share with their loved ones. And this is a service that's included in the care at Cancer Care Manitoba. The Patient and Family Resource Center also hosts webinars, and sometimes these include spiritual topics and spiritual care presenters. As well, there is a collection of books and materials available on loan. And then there is livingmyculture.ca, which is an online support, which is really wonderful and has videos and discussions about important topics that have been created with people who understand it and are from specific cultures, talking about how the spiritual aspect of a person is cared for in their particular cultural approach. Then there's the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority Indigenous Health Services. There's the Traditional Wellness Clinic, and I've included the link here. The Traditional Wellness Clinic gives Indigenous and non-Indigenous people the opportunity to seek healing through a traditional healing approach. That clinic is located in the Health Sciences Center. It's open 2 days a month to anyone, and appointments can be made by calling the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority Indigenous Health Central Intake. So if you or someone you know is receiving medical care in Winnipeg, I have the number here that I'm showing that you can call to see about arranging for an appointment. You can also ask your healthcare provider to call Indigenous Health for you, especially if you're in the hospital. So moving along, there's also Indigenous Health. This is a service that is available to patients who have to be hospitalized in Winnipeg. So it's not available to people who are coming to the outpatient areas, but it is available to people who are in the hospital. And as you can see, they have a list here that I have directly from the website about the kinds of services. Call if you or your family member speak an Indigenous language, are being discharged, want a patient advocate, want ceremonies or traditional medicines, need additional support, or even if you're not sure, call and we can do an assessment to assist you. So again, there's phone numbers there and links that you can check out. And then there's Indigenous Health Services by region. So you can learn more about Indigenous health programs and services and the staff across the province, depending on where you're situated. There are Indigenous health services in each of the regional health areas. So you can see there are 5 different links there, including Winnipeg, Southern, Prairie Mountain, Northern Health, and Interlake Eastern Regional Health Authority. And Indigenous Health Services also has a Facebook page, so you can check that out as well. In the physical domain, cancer navigation is a really big one. And what I mean by that is finding a pathway or the way that you're going to move through the system from the point at which there's suspicion of cancer to diagnosis to treatment. In each region in Manitoba, there's a cancer navigation team that's located in a hub or in a shared office where there's a nurse navigator, there's a psychosocial oncology clinician, so someone in my position, and community engagement liaisons. So the nurse navigators are registered nurses with specialized training in cancer care, and they work closely with the person's healthcare team. And they offer patients and family members information, guidance, and support from the time of clinical suspicion through diagnosis and into treatment. They help patients understand their diagnosis and their care plan and can coordinate and prepare patients for tests and appointments. The psychosocial oncology clinicians are counselors or social workers available to help patients and family members cope with the range of emotions and adjustments that come with the diagnosis of cancer, and can also assist with practical issues such as work, finances, transportation, as well as guidance on how to talk to children about what's happening or other family members and friends. Finally, there's the community engagement liaison. This is a person who offers information about cancer supports and services. So this would be a person who develops and shares culturally responsive information and works with communities to increase knowledge about cancer prevention and early detection. Here are the health regions and cancer navigation hubs in Manitoba. So you can see that the north has 3 hubs at Thompson, Flin Flon, and the Paw. And then as you move further south to the Prairie Mountain region, there's more. Brandon is a much more developed area now. So you see the Brandon Western Manitoba Cancer Center. And some of these hubs provide some treatment. I know that Brandon recently started providing more radiation therapy, but it just depends upon what type of cancer people are dealing with and what the treatment plan says. And then you can see that Southern Health is kind of spread out in the central and eastern part of the province. And there's this little dark green spot. It's the shape of Winnipeg. That's the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority, just below the lakes there. And then the Interlake area also is very much sort of in the central and eastern side of things. You can reach the cancer navigation services by region, and here I've provided the phone numbers. This is also available in the handout that was distributed with the webinar. But if you're viewing this webinar separately, you can see that there are the numbers available for each region, and contact Cancer Navigation Services if you have questions or you need support at the numbers provided. For children, there's the Jordan's Principal Coordinator, which is a wonderful addition to the supports for children and families dealing with cancer. The Southern Chiefs Organization, Jordan's Principal Coordinator, serves the Health Sciences Center and Winnipeg Children's Hospital. That person can connect with the First Nation children and families communities where there are Jordan's Principal Coordinators. The coordinators aren't in every community, but there is funding for First Nations children and families dealing with health, education, and social supports. And speaking to the Jordan's Principal Coordinator in your community, or if you are having to bring a child to Winnipeg for treatment, speaking to the coordinator here, you can get more information. Bonnie Murray is our coordinator, and her phone number is listed there. I have called her recently, and it's no longer a matter of dialing an extension. It is a matter of dialing the phone number and listening to a phone system that offers you choices, listening for the choice that you want to speak to the Jordan's principal coordinator, and then you want to speak to the Jordan's principal coordinator at Children's Hospital, and that's how you connect to Bonnie. You can also email her, and that's much more direct right there. But the phone number takes you to the Southern Chiefs organization, and then you do have to go through a phone system if you're calling her. Cancer Care Helpline. So this is a phone service for cancer patients who are on active treatment and require assistance in managing cancer or treatment-related side effects. And calling this helpline, you'll speak to a registered nurse who can answer questions for you or provide some guidance. Based on this information, the nurse would advise you how best to manage your symptoms at home, or if you're in Winnipeg, would advise if you should come into cancer care to a specialized urgent service called urgent cancer care. So here I've got the Winnipeg phone number for you. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. And you can call from outside of Winnipeg. However, if you live outside of Winnipeg and your symptoms or side effects are severe, it's best if you go to your nearest hospital emergency department or health center or nursing station. You could also call the nurse that is working with you and your oncologist to get some advice. This is what the Urgent Cancer Care Clinic looks like. It's in a part of the building that has a big skylight at the top called the atrium, and it's right next to where people go to get blood work done. It meets the needs of people who are in active treatment, dealing with symptoms or side effects that require urgent attention, saves people from going to hospital emergency rooms in Winnipeg because the Urgent Cancer Care Clinic has direct access to their cancer care charts, and there's an oncologist on duty there. But as I said, you have to phone and speak to the nurse first. And it is a service available by appointment, Monday to Friday. Evenings and weekends, there's an on-call oncologist. And for people who are being treated at cancer care, usually that information is provided by their healthcare team. So other programs and services to look after physical needs include the Quit Smoking Clinic, which provides free counseling, supplies, and medications to help people who are quitting smoking and are receiving care at Cancer Care Manitoba. Counselors, as I mentioned earlier, are available to help with practical concerns like transportation, housing, food security, by connecting people to resources in the community for this help. The Guardian Angel Caring Room helps patients with treatment-related effects that affect their appearance. So, you know, for people who've had a type of chemo or radiation that has resulted in some hair loss, they have wigs on loan. For those who've had a laryngectomy, which is a type of surgery done on the throat, there are covers for stomas. And there's a phone number to call to connect to these services. And then the Look Good, Feel Better program is a workshop that's offered to women and teens, and I think they might even have expanded to include men for a particular type of workshop. And this is to help people who want to work on their appearance using makeup and other techniques. And there's information available online or by calling the number that I provide here. And then you can find out about workshops that are in person or workshops that are online. And there's a really wonderful kit that people receive as part of being in this program that's a complimentary kit. of supplies. There's dietitians in nutrition services that help people with diet and nutrition needs during cancer treatment. And they can also advocate for access to funding if people are on EIA to be able to get specialized diet supplies. There's the pain and symptom management clinic, and that's available upon a cancer doctor's referral to help if there's pain symptoms or side effects that require some expert attention. It's physiotherapy services. These are fairly limited, but there is a way to consult. And speech language pathologist as well for some cancer related concerns. And you can ask your cancer doctor about a referral. Then there's wellness programs, and these are complementary programs for people who are in the Winnipeg area. There are some programs available for rural folks or people who have online access but are not in a big center that you can talk to your counselor about. But the wellness programs I'm referring to here are the Moving Forward After Cancer wellness program for people when they're finished treatment and they're looking to make that move back into life. There's yoga, there's Pilates, and there's other nutrition and fitness groups and workshops that are good to take a look at. As well, there's information sessions, for example, for people with breast or gynecological cancer, so cancer of the reproductive areas. There's certain kinds of surgeries as part of their care plan, and these information sessions can be useful for people who are going to go through with surgery and for their partners. The Navigator is a place to look for this information, if not on the Cancer Care website. The Navigator is a monthly information bulletin. It has some of these services and programs listed. You can find it on the Cancer Care Manitoba website, and you can also ask for it to be mailed out to you. In the emotional domain, as I keep referring to, the counselors in psychosocial oncology, this is a really big part of the experience of having cancer is dealing with the emotional impact that has for the person who's diagnosed and also for their family members, coping with the feelings related to diagnosis, treatment, and recovery, and for people who aren't able to recover from the cancer and actually pass away, then the grief and loss support for family members. Patients and families can self-refer to this service at the number I'm providing here, 204-787-2109, or speak to their doctor or nurse at Cancer Care to have them referred so that someone will follow up and give them a call. It's a voluntary program, so it's one where people have to give permission before we can contact them. There's peer support groups and counseling groups as well for patients and families that are offered on a regular basis by counselors at Cancer Care Manitoba. And more information is available by calling the number I just mentioned, or by looking in the Navigator, or going on the Cancer Care website. As well, there are online peer support communities. Counselors at Cancer Care Manitoba can help patients and families find those peer support groups because some of them are specific to the disease, and there are organizations that offer these groups or have discussion communities. And there's also a lot of programs offered through wellspring.ca. And that is well worth taking a look at as a national Canadian nonprofit organization. Here's a picture of the Navigator. This one is an older picture, but it gives you an idea of it, how it has information on various services and groups. And here is a picture of the space that's available for children who are coming to Cancer Care to be seen in the outpatient clinic and their families. So this is quite a wonderful play space. There is an assistant who looks after making sure the toys get clean and having some craft supplies out. And there is a clinical counselor, which is myself, to provide counseling services for children and families at Cancer Care Manitoba. If the child needs to be admitted to hospital for treatment, child life specialists who are specially trained to support children and families emotionally and developmentally are available and offer programs in Children's Hospital to help them cope with the many experiences that they have and also let them cope and carry on as children and youth. Thanks for listening to all of what I had to say. I'd welcome any questions that you might have about this presentation. If you want to connect with me, you can reach me at my phone number, 204-787-2062, or you could just call directly to the secretary at reception, 204-787-2109. And you've seen that number a few times. And you can ask for the counseling clinician, the PSO clinician for your region to follow up with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Miriam. That was a jam-packed, very resourceful bit of time, and thank you so much for sharing that. I have a lot to think about. Even just the little pieces of extra information you shared were really helpful too, about some of the prompts changing. That every little bit, I bet, really helps people when they're trying to navigate this experience. So I want to thank Miriam and both of our presenters today, and hope everyone learned something from the session, and I hope to see people attend some of our future webinars. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.